Hello and welcome to the It's All Good show. My name is Denise Belisle and I'm a serenity expert and positive intelligence specialist. Today I have with me Jeffrey Denissen and we're going to talk about, let me check exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about growing your firm and well-being, working on establishing goals and working towards them. Jeffrey is a CEO and founder of 𝙬𝙤𝙀 Chartered Professional. So you'll know more about him in a minute. But first, let me tell you why I call this show It's All Good and look who's here for a chat. And if you're watching this on replay or even if you're watching it live, please go on my YouTube channel, like my channel and subscribe and click on the little bell so that you're notified next time I have a video that's being broadcast. So the reason why I call this show It's All Good is mainly, the first main reason is that's my favorite cup. It's all good. But it's something I say all the time. I always say it's all good because it's part of the way I've developed my way of living. Being a serenity expert, I found that it's what brought me to become a serenity expert is because things of the past I found out, and I tried several times. I found out that you can't change the past. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you've tried and you're still trying, but you can't change the past. So then by moving forward, I say, hey, if I can't change the past, I can only be here today and see what's the gift and what just happened. Even if it's 5 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago, you can't change it. So all you can do is work on your mindset to say, okay, what have I learned from this experience? What's the gift into that situation? And how can I move forward and make the best of it? And same thing for the future. You can't predict the future. I don't have like a crystal ball, even if that ball there kind of looked like a little crystal ball, but it's not. And it's something that I realize that I can't predict my future. All I can do is move forward, plan ahead, prepare for the things that might happen that are unexpected, and then just move forward and say, hey, it's all good. What happened happened. It's like going on vacation and you fill up your suitcase with this and that, and then you say, oh, but what if I forget this? Oh, I hope I didn't forget that. And you know what? Hey, it's all good. Let's buy something new when I'm there if I forgot something. So that's kind of the same idea. So let me bring my guest to the stage, and let's welcome Jeffrey. Jeffrey, welcome to the It's All Good show. Luke is here for a chat.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Yep.
My real pleasure. And today, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to talk about growing your firm
Yep.
or your business and well-being. So how to grow your firm but still stay serene and stay sane and not going crazy over all the things that you need to do as an entrepreneur, and also how to establish goal and working towards them. So how do you build goal and work towards them?
Yep.
So I think that's a very apropos theme, being the end of the year. And I'm really excited to have you here. But before we start to plunge into the topic,
Yep.
please introduce yourself. I know you were here a few months ago and you had a really amazing show. So for those that are listening, again, go to my YouTube channel and then look for Jeffrey. We had another interview. I think it was last July. Very informative, lots of amazing information. Today we'll talk about something a little bit different. And so make sure that you go there. But Jeffrey, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and why we're talking about this topic.
Yeah. So my name is Jeffrey Denissen. I have a CPA firm. I'm an accountant and fractional CFO. So what does that mean? I offer my services to help businesses take care of their financials. So from that perspective, what I'm trying to do is help people with their daily work or with their future work, and make sure that they have less concerns, that they also have peace of mind that things are being done, and I try to take care of the financial part of the firm. So that's in a nutshell what I'm doing. Why I'm here, we had several conversations. I always like to work with others, and Denise was my coach last year, still is, and helping me out to focus on the right things for my business, and that is helping my clients to focus on the right things of their business.
Yeah, tell people a little bit how good I am as a coach, you know.
Oh, you're really good. You're helping me with focusing on the right things. So we have daily chats, or if we have to, did not happen very often, but most of the time we have a weekly conversation of
Yeah.
an hour, and every now and then I send you an email. So you're very much contributing to what I'm doing, in the sense of focusing on the right things. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I'm glad that you're bringing that forward to your clients, because that's the idea, right? Like, I mean, I have coaches. You had me as a coach, or still do.
Yeah.
And then the idea is like we learn things in our personal life with mentors and coaches. And we can, if we apply it properly, then we can bring that forward into our own life and into the people we're working with and people we're helping. So I think that's pretty amazing that you're able to transfer that knowledge that you gain working with me and bring that to your clients. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, well, I think that most people need is somebody to look from a distance what you're doing, and provide you a mirror or some feedback. And that's exactly what I'm doing for my clients too, if I help them out.
Mm-hmm.
But then from a financial perspective, this is happening. I can show the mirror, and here are a few options. And then I go with my clients. So, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And if you go that direction, that means this. And if you go that direction, that means this. So it's always good to have somebody on board that is able to show you that mirror, or that
Yeah.
40,000 level feet perspective. And that's what I'm trying to do too, to my clients. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And tell me, how long have you been, like I see in your bio, so you can tell me. So how long have you been working in all the level of industry or financial industry? Like, what's your experience? Where do you come from, and how did you come to become a solopreneur and work by yourself, meaning by yourself and your team, but without an employer,
Yeah.
to help others? So what's your, in a nutshell, so what's your path there, and how did you get to
I
work
started
where you are now?
working as a CPA for one of the big firms more than 20 years ago. And what attracted me is the high level picture that you have of companies, and help them out on that perspective. But what I also liked is working for people that you know for a longer time. So I moved from the external audit to internal audit, and project management, and compliance projects. And I started doing that for ING for a number of years. And then I came to Canada and did that for the credit union system. But what I also noticed is that if you're in a firm, you're stuck to certain procedures, you're stuck to certain people. And I decided to bring that knowledge that I have to other smaller clients, so that they can really utilize that knowledge that I have, and then bring that forward to them, because there is so much knowledge that you can share. And by working with the right people, you're able to do amazing things. That's what I noticed. And I like to work on positive things, not to work in a certain structure, but see what is possible. And with smaller companies, you have that ability to work and see, okay, what can we do? What can we bring forward? And how can we move things forward? So I'm really in a positive place now by having my own company, and helping people out on, okay, what is possible and what can we do? So
Yeah,
basically that's where I'm
that's
coming from.
cool.
Yeah, and that's why I thought, okay, I have to start my own business. And I come across with networking with a lot of people that are having exactly the same. They started the company a few years back, or they also, just like me, in the last 2 years. It's interesting to see that I'm not the only one moving things forward. There's a lot of people, and of which I was not aware when I was working for the big companies, that
Yeah.
are working on their own things, and they're making things happen, and they are eager to learn and move things forward. So learn from the past and develop the future.
Tell me, what are some of the things that you've learned in the last year that allows you to be able to come in 2023 with feeling that you'll get something better out of the next year?
Yeah, so what I'm doing for the next year is stick to your goals and make sure you're really focusing on your goals
Mm-hmm.
and pay attention to some areas. So I wrote an ebook, and it's showing the areas that I'm going to focus on and what I've learned from my clients working with them last year, what is really working. And it's basically 5 points. So it's cash flow, like we just discussed. Cash flow is an issue for most people. Inflation is rising, costs are getting more expensive, so you have to keep an eye on your cash flow.
Mm.
Um, Getting there is working with the right people. So don't do it yourself is my recommendation. Like us, Denise, working together, you can focus on the right things. So if you
Mm-hmm.
hire an accountant, focus on the right things. He can give you those cash flow overviews, and he can predict what the cash flow is going to do if you have certain plans, if you have certain strategies, and then you can have a really good picture on what does it mean if I execute this plan, for example. So have a good person on the sideline helping you with the cash flow. Another item is people always are talking very proudly about the revenue that they make. Well,
Yeah.
it's not about the revenue. You must have seen that TikTok movie in the last couple of weeks where that lady is going to the bank and is showing, yeah, I make $1 million a year. And then the lady from the bank says, but you only have $5,000 left of profit.
Yeah, I
So
know. What's your expenses, right? Like it makes a huge
exactly.
difference.
Yeah, so very proudly on the revenue. I think it's a great example of what I see often from
Yeah.
so very proud at revenue. Yes, that's something to be proud of, but you have to keep an eye on your expenses too.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's like a counterbalance, right? Like if you making that much money, let's use 100,000 just to make a number. If you make
Yeah,
$100,000, but your expenses 110,000, then you're not great, right? So
no,
you have to find ways, two things, right? I guess it's making more money
yeah,
and or reducing
sorry.
your expenses, right? And then when the margin
Yeah,
is become bigger, you're making a lot more money than your expenses are. Then that's when you have positive cash flow, and then you can start say that I make a lot of money, because whatever you keep, that's what's important. That's what you can save for your retirement. That's what you can save for your vacation. That's what you can save for
yeah.
extra things if you want to, or you can just reinvest it, I guess, in your business for people that are growing their business. Like there's different ways, right, to use that.
Yeah, exactly that. And don't get surprised at the end of the year, but make sure that you are in touch with your accountant on a regular basis to get those numbers. Because I
Hmm.
see that also with clients, they don't, okay, they think everything is going well, put everything in the shoebox and I process that, and then there is a surprise at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
do those kind of things. Keep working with your accountant, and okay, it's probably more expensive to do it like that. Um, Not working with a shoebox, but at the end of the day, you're able to focus on the right things, and you will see that you get more profit out of it.
Yeah, I think the shoebox is not going to be ringing a bell whenever something start to go wrong, right? Like the
Yeah,
shoebox is just putting all the receipt and forget about it. It's sort of avoiding what's coming up at the end of the year. So by
yeah,
giving that quarter shoebox maybe every quarter, to your accountant, so you can have the pulse of your business, I think it makes a big difference, right?
I think that makes sense. If your budget is not enough to do it on a monthly basis, at least do it on a quarterly or a six
Yeah,
months basis, so that you can still steer your financial year and move it forward.
yeah.
So yeah, again, that's back to having a good relationship with your accountant, and then it works.
Hmm.
So another point is wasting time to outsource. Comes back for my clients on their accountant. Don't wait too long by outsourcing things and doing things yourself.
Don't be afraid, because a lot of time people say I can't afford it, so I'd rather do it myself, but then they end up at the end of the year they haven't done anything because they don't
Yeah,
have the time. So
yeah. You're
it's
getting
like
back in the same
spending
problem.
spending a week putting all your paper in order. How much is that costing you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it will be expensive, but and I know talking to your accountant on a regular basis is even more expensive, but wasting time is the most expensive thing you can do. So from
Okay,
that
so you talk
perspective,
about talking to your accountant is expensive and this and that, but then what's the other side of the coin? What's the benefit, like the major benefit of paying that amount of money? It's for me, it seems like it's a an expense that is necessary,
yeah, it
right?
is.
It's
The
like you
most
need
added value.
electricity, you need water in a house, you need, heat if you live in
Yeah,
a cold climate. So I think an accountant for incorporated business, it's I don't know why would people go without it.
true, but you can also see it from it is, and that's how I set up my CFO services. Yes, if you see it as necessary, you'll have it on the side anyway. But if you see it as an added value for your business to make more
Hmm.
money, then it's really the added value that you have insights on a regular basis.
So how could a company that, because you just mentioned it now, you
Yeah,
have a service where you could go into a business and became their part-time CFO,
yeah,
right? You're the one that handles the financial. CFO is, um, financial officer, but what's the C? I can't
yeah,
think of.
yeah. So,
Like somebody that will take care of the finance, but you don't have to have someone in the house all the time because for some business, their level of necessity is not that much. So
exactly.
why don't you
So
talk about your CFO service for a minute?
yeah, so what I'm trying to do, so like you say, hiring a CFO, a knowledgeable person on a full-time basis for a startup or a spin-off or a company that just wants to grow, that's not necessary or not feasible from a budget perspective. So hiring a person on a part-time basis and having him really focus on what you like to grow or like to know, it's much more affordable and you still can achieve that goal. So you can wait till you grow and have that person on board and then be very busy till a point that you have that person on board. You can hire a part-time person that's very knowledgeable. And like me, I'm very happy to hand off something that has become full-time. I just did last year. Um, I like to work part-time, compare things and contribute to companies on a part-time basis,
Hmm.
um, and then hand it off to a full-time person. I think that works for a lot of companies. You
Yeah.
get things set up very easily instead of, okay, as soon as we have that person, we have to repair things, and then it will become very difficult to repair things. If you set up things from the start the right way, it will be more efficient and you can still focus on your goals. So that was what I'm trying to do. Not having those
Mm.
big bumps and then as soon as we have that person, we will have it repaired. No, you won't, because there will be other points that need to be repaired by that day.
Yeah, I understand now. So your ideal clients would be somebody that's in the startup, or more. But if somebody is just starting their business and they want to organize their books and their way of running their finance by hiring you part time, whichever the needs, and you'll know what kind of needs they need
Yeah,
initially.
yeah,
And then they will grow the business. You can guide them and support them as they grow the business. And when they become that, it's, I was going to say too much work for you, but to the point that you could have now a full-time CFO, then
yeah,
you just hand in the baton, okay, here you go. I'm here as a consultant now, and I can assist you into taking that role and moving into the company full time. And then
exactly.
you're like, okay, next, next
Yeah,
client, right?
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to do. Yes,
That's
yes.
wonderful.
And that works for most people because how do you get to that growth point? So I'm working with mainly I'm trying to focus on people that got their funding and they know exactly what the problem is. And the people that are complaining about working 2 days a week on just the accounting, I can take care of that. And then they will see the added value
Hmm.
of my services, taking that out of their hands and growing it.
Yeah, because this is your strength. This is what you're good at. Because for me, for example, if I was try to do my income tax return at the end of the year,
Yeah,
that's not what I'm good at, right? I'm good at coaching. I'm good at helping people, work on themselves and growing their own business. So for me, sitting down and it's already good enough or bad enough that I do my own bookkeeping. So at the end of the year, I just put everything together. I take a couple days and I do it. I put my head down and I do it.
Yeah.
But for like having to do my own stuff, I was like, that's not my strength. So for people that runs their business, maybe their strength is building some type of material or product, and that's their strength. They run the business, but doing the books is like delegate, send it to someone else that for them they love it. They're excited to do that. As it's not a chore, right?
Yeah, and you can't do that enough. Every time I do something, I have it with my own firm last year. I've been thinking about outsourcing a number of things, and then always I said after I did it, I should have done that way earlier because
Hmm.
you can concentrate on the right things then.
Yeah, because even you, like, right, you just said that, right? There are things in your business that, like, typing numbers, into an Excel sheet is like, no, I don't need to do that. So I can hire someone to do
Yeah.
that and double
Or
check and make sure everything works. But then you know that you're much more qualified to do the CFO role and really take care of the numbers of the company and how we're going to grow and how we're going to increase your net profit and all that stuff. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Or marketing, such an example.
Yeah.
Very important for businesses that want to grow. Have things worked out. I noticed that as well. I can spend a lot of time on it, and I like most people. I'm of the opinion if you have time, you can find it out yourself. You can do it yourself, but it's also about spending the time on the right things, and then you have to just outsource those things.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
So if somebody is looking at a CFO service and so why should they hire you as opposed to somebody else's?
Because they like working with me. That's the main reason that we can get along, and they have trust in me. I invested heavily last year. We had several conversations about what kind of training I was taking for my clients.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because they are aware that I have the right knowledge. So I did a lot of training on exempt market dealer investment companies. I did the normal training you do as a CPA as well.
Yeah.
So this was a year of heavy investments in knowledge building. And with 20 years of experience in the financial industry, I
Hmm.
must say there are no surprises. But this is also in this industry about trusting that you know the details and can put the dot on the I's and crossing the T's and those kind of things. So that's
Hmm.
why I did those trainings to make sure that my clients get the best experience there and that
Yeah.
I have the certificates to show, okay, this is really proving I did it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's fun to
And what
learn new
what I
things.
found by working with you is that you're always eager to learn. You're always dedicated and eager to learn. So I'm sure if you ever arrive in a situation with a client where you're uncertain, you're not too sure of where to go or the solution, you'll go and find it. You'll go and dig in and find the solution because you're very eager to go to the
Yeah,
source of the problem. Okay, let's resolve this. There's a solution, right?
yeah. But
You,
with in mind that and that's why I'm expanding my network also. Where one of my key areas is expanding my market, my network, and touching base with real experts on certain areas. Because I believe as a CFO, you also have the function of connecting people. If you see you spot a problem, I don't want to spin my wheels for certain problems. I want to hire the right people that we have fix
yeah.
uh, fast solutions for certain things because the experts are out there. And last year, I met several people, multiple people that are really experts in their fields. And eventually, we get to work together to solve issues for my clients. And that is a fun part of my what I'm doing now. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, 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 that's great because the more you expand your network, like the more you're able to say, okay, I got a person for you. I know someone that can assist you with that, or I can, as the CFO, I can go get someone in our team that
Yeah,
can work towards assisting you in the needs that you have. And I think that's a very good tool to have because as a let's say as a CFO or an accountant, you need to have resources to go pick in, because there's multitude of problem that comes your way as companies. Every companies are different, even though some of the things are the same in your world, because you've seen a lot with your experience. But you're able to go and, oh, that's interesting, let me go talk to so and so and see how we can incorporate that into the business. Or
Yeah, yeah, and it's fun to see that there are a lot of people like me out there that have a lot of experience and offer that for the right price with way more dedication than if you could go to the big offices where all the knowledge, of course, is available, but you pay a price. And
hmm
then looking at small people, I like to pick the right companies, small companies that know what they are talking about, are really experts, difficult word, experts, um, and go there and make it work.
yeah,
I really enjoy that part where other people also reach out to me because they want to work with me because of my experience, but also because I'm a small firm and very dedicated to get the solutions for those clients.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you will put the time you need with these people, whomever you're working with, to move them forward and to help them grow.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
hmm
that's what it is about, and that's for 2023, really my focus to get even more clients of those that are looking for growth and like to work with small companies and come up with solutions. Yeah,
So that's your ideal client.
that's my ideal client, and that's my focus for next year. Uh,
Wonderful. So we'll put
yeah,
that out there in the universe, that
exactly.
whoever
Yeah.
needs your service will find this video and discover you.
And like I said, well, working with other people like you, Denise, is always great, and that's moving things forward.
hmm
So yeah, that's what I'm offering. Um,
That's great.
yeah,
So I have here how people can reach you. So I put it right there. So they can either send you an email
yeah,
or find you on LinkedIn.
yeah, or my website.
Yeah, your website is jdenisencpa.com, right?
Yeah, it's over there. Um,
Wonderful.
Always happy to set up a meeting or to talk, just like you, Denise. So from that perspective, we're no
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Yeah, it's always important. Also, one thing that I think is might differ you from somebody else, is make you different, is you don't treat your client as just a number,
No,
right? I mean, if you need help, like, call me, right?
yeah,
It's like, give me a call, send me an email, just be in touch with me, and I'll, as soon as I have a spot, which is, usually within a day or so in your schedule, you'll be able to talk with them and to help them pull them out of the abyss they just fell in, right?
well, exactly. That's a very good point. That's what I'm trying to do. You will never see me advertise that I'm proud a server of 500 clients. You will never see me do that. I try to stay close, small, and be the person that you can call anytime.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to grow to those numbers. I like interacting with people that I know,
yeah, yeah.
and that's what I'm trying to focus on. Yeah,
That's wonderful, and that's what makes you like very more personable, because they're not going to call and end up talking to an assistant that don't really know your books, and don't really know their books, and it's like, oh, let me look in Mr. Denison's schedule. Okay, in 2 weeks Tuesday he can have a talk with you, and it's, forget it, I need an answer right now, right?
exactly. And I see that for my own firm. That doesn't work if you have to wait for 2 weeks for an answer, or at the end of the week, or you have to explain it for the third time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
just a phone call. I'm a phone call away most for most people, and a
Wonderful.
quick answer, yes or no, is most of the time the best thing that I can offer for my client. Or I look into it, and then later today we have another conversation. That's what
That's
I'm trying to
amazing.
do. Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's really good. So I thank you for being part of my show again. It's always a pleasure. So again, I'll post, if you want to be in touch with Jeffrey, and I'll post in the show notes about the link to go get his free ebook, so that you can download it and find out what are those 5 5 mistakes that people are doing so that you don't do them. So Jeffrey, stay there. I'll be right back with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And so, thank you for listening. I think it was very informative. So if you are a small company, a startup, somebody that is not too comfortable doing your own book and would like to have someone to support you, assist you, raise you, and so that you can eventually hire a full-time person into your company, Jeffrey is your man. He's going to spot you and help you. So thank you for being here today, watching the It's All Good. Lucas here for a chat. And I'm always happy to be around here, bring amazing people into my platform so that you can be better informed. You can have great information from my guests. So I will see you next Monday. And in the meantime, this is the week before the holidays, before Christmas, if you're celebrating Christmas. But even though you're not celebrating it, it's all around us. So happy holiday, whichever holiday you're celebrating. Happy day off. That's all you get out of it. And I will talk to you next week. Goodbye. Take care to one another.